Thank you very much. Gitanas. Carol, dear presidents, Diana, Martha, Olena, our dear first ladies, Svetlana, and everyone in the team of Free Belarus. Dear friends and peoples, who are so close and whose closeness is of such importance for our entire Europe. Today we are all here in Vilnius to honor the memory and thank the participants of the January uprising for their courage. The uprising which confirmed that our destiny is destined to be together, and our success, Ukrainians, Poles, Lithuanians, Belarusians, can only be a joint success. Exactly as much as we can be independent together. We have one enemy, and this has been going on for more than 4 years of full-scale war. More than years of hybrid warfare. More than the domination of Soviet Moscow and Imperial St. Petersburg. It is here, in our part of Europe, on the lands of our peoples and, importantly, in the memory of people, that there is a confrontation between two forms of attitude towards people. Attitude towards society. There is our model when people, when nations, cultures matter. And there is a model that has taken root in the east of us and which for centuries has come to our home with contempt and with wars against everything that is so precious to us. Europe has nothing to choose from other than one of these two models. Only these are the options: freedom or dependence. And our peoples know this best. That is why we can be harsh when we say that European protection is not enough. Every delay has consequences. Belarus is still forced to exist as a Russian general government. Now, so many years after Kartas Kalinovsky, everything he fought for is still relevant for Belarus. Although for Ukrainians, for Lithuanians, for Poles, it has already worked. And it is relevant not just because he is right, but because Belarusians still need to gain true independence and real security of life. So far, Lukashenko's white spitz has been left with more rights than the people of Belarus, unfortunately. There was a chance in 2020 to change that. And I'm sure there will be another chance. But then support for Belarus was simply not enough. And now we all feel how much more difficult, how much more expensive, how much more dangerous it has become for everyone because of Belarus' dependence on Moscow. An addiction that doesn't get any smaller. Operators of Russian Shah jets are working in Ukraine, including from the territory of Belarus. Communication for strikes is maintained from the territory of Belarus. Russia uses Belarus as a training ground to blackmail Europe and the world with Oreshnik missiles. Belarus industry is working for the Russian war, and trade ties are helping Putin buy the components he needs to build a threat against all of us in Europe. That is why it is important for Europe not to lose any of the peoples who live in freedom. That is why it is critical for Europe not to waste time. That is why we all in Europe have to work for a strong Europe every day. The uprising of Belarusians was supposed to be won in 2020 so that there would be no threats from there now. Europe and the world should support the people who rebelled. And the story would be different, safer. In the same way, we can say about the January uprising and about other actions of the peoples, which were not supported by other states somewhere nearby. As a result, history punishes those who are left out. In many ways, the wars of the 20th century are a consequence of the indifference of the powerful of this world in the 19th century. Russia's war against Ukraine and other Russian wars against Moldova, against Chechnya, against Georgia, all these are the consequences of indifference to the truth of our peoples, the truth that our people feel, and the indifference shown by the key powers of the world at the end of the Soviet era. In the 90s and at the beginning of the 21st century, when they bet on Russia, on a reset with Russia, which has really become an overload for all of us. Now we are trying to do everything so that such mistakes never happen again. Now we are trying to do everything so that our joint actions are enough for the real defense of Ukraine, which means Europe. Poland's assistance to Ukraine after February 24 is unprecedented in the entire history of our peoples. Lithuania is with us, and also at an unprecedented level, all the Baltic states are with us. Northern Europe, Germany is one of the most significant defenders of life. France, Britain, they are with us. Central Europe is almost all with us. Italy, Spain and Portugal, all the states of Southern Europe are with us, Romania and Moldova. In 1863, the insurgents could not even dream of such unity. And now this unity is working. The European Union exists and is getting stronger every year. The United States, Canada, Japan are with us, and our call for this unity to be 100% effective, not half, not for several months out of the year, not until the next elections in this or that European country, but 100% effective. Not as much as we don't regret, not as much as we can, but as much as it works. So that there is simply no longer a threat to Europe and each of our peoples. The politicians of Europe should appreciate the fact that they represent free and independent states, that they do not have to be commanders of uprisings against empires or against occupiers now. It is too early to relax in Europe when the Russian war machine has not stalled and the dictators next to Europe are not weakening. They all look at Europe, look at us as prey. Europe deserves to be strong, to be free, and our slogan is, "With you for our and your freedom," will definitely work. When the January uprising was born, Kyiv University was one of the key centers of freedom. Now, including in the sky of Kyiv and on the land of Ukraine, there is exactly the center of courage that ensures that the freedom of our peoples exists. There is and will be. It will not only be hidden somewhere in universities, not only in secret or clandestine societies, not only at home we will be able to speak our language and enjoy national cultures. Not only in whispers will we be able to talk about national aspirations. Our freedom is and will be in our arsenals. Our freedom is and will be in education, in our countries, which Moscow no longer influences. Our freedom is and will be in our national economies. Our freedom is and will be in the rights of our children, which no one will restrict. Our freedom is and will be in the partnerships between our countries. And it is thanks to this that Russia does not have such missiles that can cancel the fact that the peoples of Europe are free. I want to say separately for the people of Belarus, you are a European people and who will be together with all our peoples in our united free Europe, peaceful Europe, strong Europe. And you cannot be erased, we cannot all be erased. I thank all the Belarusian volunteers who are fighting for our independence in Ukraine and a historic chance for their country. I thank everyone who helps Ukraine and therefore helps themselves. I thank everyone who supports that the truth must be heard, Europe must act, the war must stop, security must be guaranteed. Generations before us have fought to be us. Our people are fighting so that our children and our grandchildren and their grandchildren are and live in peace. So that not one person somewhere on the throne in Russia matters, but each of our peoples, each of the people, because this is a European rule. People matter, nations matter, cultures matter. Russia does not matter, because the one who is against the peoples historically always loses. Thank you. Glory to Ukraine.